Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome Nele and Gilbert from Elvellon to the channel. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, very good, actually.
Great,
Hello.
yeah. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedule. Of course, you guys are getting ready to release your second album, which is called Ascending in Synergy, which is out May 17th via Napalm Records. You've already had like 2 singles released so far with the music videos that go along with those. How have you found the response from the fan base that have been with you since the beginning, or just like people who are discovering you guys through this album run?
Well, obviously, the feedback is immense, especially for our first single, A Vagabond's Heart. That was a huge step for us because that was the first release we had with Napalm Records, and the feedback was tremendous. And we never ever expected so many people to watch that video in such a short amount of time. And yeah, we're extremely happy, I think. What do you say?
Yeah, exactly. It was absolutely stunning. Especially our older fans really enjoy the new material so far.
Yeah.
So I guess the album will also be a success in that way.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah. But it was a pretty good start and really gave us a positive push, actually, to keep going. And yeah, that was very nice.
Congratulations for signing with Napalm as well. That must have been such a huge deal for you guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. I think by now it's already like 3 years ago.
We signed, I believe, in 2020 or 21. And yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite some time ago by now.
Yeah.
But in the time that we did new songs, it didn't felt that different because we hadn't to do so there wasn't not much communication with the label, and by now we're in the last half of year, it's going crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost daily contact, I would say.
Yeah.
And working together has been so much fun, actually, until now. And we get so much support from Napalm Records. And it's just amazing. It feels very, very nice to work with them. Yeah. And it's easy to work with them. And
it's the best thing that could happen to us
in
the last years. Yeah.
That's definitely what you want. I mean, especially for me as well, being a content creator and doing what I do. They're amazing record label that get what reactions are about, if you will. I don't know how you guys feel about reactions and seeing people react to your music. Like, how does that make you guys feel?
It's super exciting. Of course, in these days we get a lot of reactions on all social media and YouTube and everything. So it's different than like 10 years prior when we started doing music. And it's very nice. It's very direct, and we really like it. There even could be more.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And of course, some are better. Some are, I don't know. There's some reactions where people just watch the song, say 3 words, and then it's over, and then it's just, oh.
That's a little bit sad.
It's really sad. Yeah.
I really enjoy watching reaction videos, and we actually have yours scheduled. Yeah, we have a little group without going into too much detail, but whenever some of us see a reaction being scheduled, we inform the other
immediately.
The others immediately. And I'm looking really forward to watching your reaction video. And I think it's great just to have this feedback, because it's something else when our fans, what I really appreciate, say like, what a great song, I love that, whatever. But in reaction videos like yours, for example, you have a little bit more content and more, I don't know, connection and knowledge.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And experience, of course. And that I really like that, when people get more into the details of the song and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want you guys to like go into your own words about what the album is about and what it means to you guys.
It's your part.
I always try to explain to people that I feel like we write music for the listeners to interpret. And of course, we have a little frame set with lyrics and also music and or the instrumental. But Ascending in Synergy is, for me at least, an album the listener can take out of their shelves whenever they need support, advice, or just someone who accepts them the way they are. And it's about reflecting on yourself and finally getting back in touch with yourself. And I felt that, especially during COVID, myself and so many others around me fell out of touch with themselves. And I feel like this is such an important part of life, to reflect on yourself and being aware of what's going on inside of you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think people tended to switch themselves off from everything that was happening when COVID was going on, because it was just a huge thing to take in themselves, especially for some, like for myself. So I'm from the UK, I'm from England, but I live in the USA. So I couldn't go home for like 3 years because of the travel restrictions. And it takes a lot out of you mentally. And I think it's a great idea to then build an album around opening yourself back up and being vulnerable and raw. And that's what I found from the 2 songs that you have released so far. And I also really love how you did that first music video, is because you did have a little bit of a hiatus in between your previous album to now. And that's partly due to COVID. But also, I just loved how like each individual band member like came together and they met, and you had huge warm smiles on your faces, and you like hugged each other, and it was also that warm golden hour light, and it was just such a perfect comeback video. Like, how did you guys come up with that idea for that music video?
That's very funny because I already watched your reaction.
And you did.
And I was a big smile on my face during that part where you kind of interpret that, because that was not our intention, but sometimes things that happen just come to you naturally, and sometimes you have an outcome which you don't understand in that moment, but later, maybe a year or 2 later, when you look back on it, you see, oh, that's why I did it, or that's why we did it. And it fits perfectly what you said. It was really like that, like coming back together, and the motive was so strong in my head, and I had nearly a tear in my eye. That was so sweet, and I thought, wow, yeah, it was so true that it just was a perfect match, the interpretation, and I felt, yeah, maybe that was the reason why we did it, because and the idea for the music came mostly from my part, and I didn't really know where the idea came from. I just had a feel like that would be cool if that happens. Of course, the idea was a bit that the thing with symphonic metal is that's very oriented on the female singer, the front person, and sometimes the boys or the band just gets lost in the background, and we wanted to work against that. To promote also the guys in the band, and to be characters, and not just instrumentalists, and just musicians. And that was part of the idea, but I think the rest, maybe you hit the right spot there. I think it was deeply true what you said.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you said, but I can it actually.
Yeah, it just felt right, and like you were taking the dust covers off your instruments and just every little thing, and even though it wasn't intentionally that way, that's just with it being your first release after so long, and the video, how you did it, and I love how you did focus on each individual band member. It wasn't just Nele, it was everybody, and I love that, because like you say, it's usually the vocalist who is up front, and you don't, like, the rest of the band tends to get forgotten, and I don't like that. I like to see everybody, and I like to see everybody's individual personality. So I really loved the video, and I thought it was brilliant.
That's so
Thank you
nice
so much.
that you like it so much, because that's kind of the politics we really do in the band, or practice in the
Nearly
band.
from day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we decide everything democratically.
Mhm.
And I myself, I just said that beforehand, before the interview, I don't have to be in this seat right now. You can all have this seat and do the interview. I don't need to be in the limelight all the time.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that's really naturally how things go in this band.
Yeah.
Well, and that also takes the pressure off you as well, being the front woman, because I think a lot of pressure is put on the face of the band, whereas if you guys are, everybody's got their own little part that they're doing, it falls more naturally. It's a bit more authentic, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, I really, really liked it. And so you guys have opted to use crowdfunding it again this time around, like you did for the previous album. How has that process been for you the second time that you're doing it, like behind the scenes?
It's actually the third time when we're
The
doing
third time? Okay.
Yeah, for the first album, for our first DVD, and now again for the second album. And what was the question again?
Just how's that process been for you guys, and has it like blown in any expectations you guys have like put, because you go into things trying not to put expectations on something, but we always do. It's just part of human nature.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, even if it's the third time by now, it always starts with a bit of fear if we make it in time, which is total
it's
BS.
Yeah.
We are YouTube. Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then the campaign starts, and it's the third time now. I think we reached the goal in a week or two or something.
Not even that. It was 4 days.
Yeah, by now, but I
Wow.
think the second one was a bit longer, but
the
the
second
period,
one,
yeah.
But-
And we think, why do we even had any kind of fear? It didn't make any sense. But I don't know. We're still, I don't know, a bit too nervous people. I don't know.
Well, I think one thing that is pretty important to say is that this whole crowdfunding thing is always about money. And now that we're signed with such a huge label, people expect us to have the greatest amount of money, and that's simply not
The case.
And it's not reality. And I so appreciate our fans for just blowing us away by this extreme support. I mean, having a goal of 5,000 euros within 4 days, that's just crazy, especially when you think of the fact that we are now signed with Napalm.
And it's the third time.
And it's the third time, and people may think like, well, why don't they have their stuff together? And I really understand people thinking that, but it's just crazy, and we're so thankful.
True.
Yeah. No, I think with anything like that, especially with asking for money and knowing what the economy is like at the moment, you're always going to have that fear, and you're always going to think that people might wonder, like, why are they doing this now? Why are they doing it again? But then you do it, and it's like with my channel, and I stream on Twitch, and just the support from people that have come into the community and are part of, I call them my Taurians, and they're part of that, and they just blow me away I don't expect anything, and they just blow me away every single time, and that's the same for you guys. Like, I saw the goal, and I saw that it was just completely smashed in like you say, 4 days, and that's just got to be so mind-blowing. But it also shows that these people, your fans totally believe in what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table.
That for one part, and I truly believe in this whole love thing. I think
right, me too.
That reflects everything, and it reflects so much love, and this is what we give, what we, as you say, bring to the table, and what comes back for that. And I absolutely love that. That is so, I don't know, supporting and just really nice. always blows my mind.
But you have to learn to embrace it.
Yeah.
And it's
You
not
do.
an easy task.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, how you guys would describe, because there has been a hiatus, how you would describe the evolution of your guys' sound from the first album, because you had your EP and then the first full album, and now you're bringing out the second album. How would you describe the evolution in sound?
Ooh, difficult one. Because for us, it always feels very natural. We're not a concept band regarding that we have a new sound in our head and we were forcing every song to that new sound. It's the other way around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know musically we reinvented the wheel, to be honest. This symphonic thing we're doing is
It's a total 2000.
It's a early 2000, late 90s thing. Yeah, exactly. We just try to bring that era of music into now, into the hearing experiences of listeners these days. Today, yeah.
And I think there is something very special because when we write songs, as I said, we always decide democratically, and we keep on writing songs when we have that special Elvellon feeling. And if that doesn't occur, I don't think that we ever wrote a song where we didn't have this feeling. And that is something that makes it whole, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we develop things from there, from scratch. And compared to Until Dawn and Spellbound, I think we just got a little heavier. We dared ourselves to do something more, and we have so much more orchestral stuff. And we just exaggerated things, if you will.
Yeah. I would not say that we're doing a new sound by now.
Yeah.
It's just that the things we already had, the elements we already had, were just getting better by now.
Yeah.
Just sounding a bit more professional, but it would not say that the new album is a completely different style.
Absolutely.
It's just
we developed as
persons,
human beings, and I think that is something you can always hear in our music.
Definitely,
actually, and you can always hear the Verbindung,
connection.
Connection. Thank you. The connection between all of us. You definitely can hear it when you listen tightly to our music.
Yeah. And I love that you guys are bringing that sound, because that's what got me into rock and metal, is that early symphonic metal. And because as a kid, the only thing that would keep me quiet was Disney's Fantasia. And then, of course, as I grew, I got into rock and metal. And then having these two merged together, I was like, what is this magic? And that you guys are keeping that magic alive with your band. And it's so nice to hear.
That is so great to hear. Actually, that's actually, that's
it's our goal, I would say. Yeah,
that's absolutely what we aim for.
Yeah.
So how would you describe like the creative process, like what it looks like for you guys when you come to composing a new song and writing lyrics?
Oh, let's start with songs and then you with the lyrics? Okay. Most of the time, it's something our keyboard player, Pascal, plays on his keyboard. And then someone in the room says, hey, what you did there, that was cool. Can you play it again? And we listen to it, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 bars of music, really. But there's something in these 2 bars which we say, there's something that is like magical, or you said the Elvellon magic.
Starts the Elvellon feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then we take these 2 bars, just a small part of a motive, and think of, okay, what can we do next that has the same feeling, that fits to that feeling, and so. From that part on, the song somehow writes itself, because it's already there. The feeling is there. We just have to uncover it somehow.
Yeah.
And it's never with a concept. We never say, oh, this song should have this in it, has a guitar solo, and then the last chorus has a key change or anything. It never happens like that.
Yeah.
It's just really building like a house,
Mm-hmm.
step by step, stone on stone.
Yeah.
And then at some point it's, wow, now we have a song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Just very, very organic.
very organic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It maybe sounds easy, but it's super difficult for us.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Yeah, also had, I don't know, three songs or something like that where we had the whole song already, and we're like, no, something's missing. We don't have this Elvellon feeling.
Yeah.
Let's just
rearrange it, kick
redo
part
it.
out, redo it. Actually, yeah. And during this process, sometimes early and sometimes later, it depends who's writing the lyrics. Sometimes it's our drummer Martin. He's the guy. He already quite early in the songwriting process has a certain idea for a theme, and also that theme now writes back into the songwriting creation. So the lyrics and the idea they develop then together from that point on. Yeah. But I think on your hand it's a bit different when you're doing the lyrics, because I think you're mostly doing the lyrics when the song is like almost done, right?
Yeah, well, on Ascending in Synergy, there's one song where I had very early on like pictures in my head and a certain feeling, and I knew very early on where I intended to go. And for the other songs, I mostly really enjoyed it to just get lost in the instrumental. And from there on, I just keep on writing. I don't know, by now, there must be like 10 or 20 books, notebooks I have. And I just listen to a song over and over again. And that is one of my superpowers, I think. I don't get bored by listening to 3 minutes of instrumental over and over again. And yeah, I just write, even if it feels like complete nonsense. And suddenly there's something that manifests. And I just start from there. When I write until something manifests, and then I try to get inspired by really words that just come to me. I really don't know how to describe it. It feels like kind of magic. I don't know. It just comes to me.
I think that's a great way to describe just songwriting in general, no matter what genre it is. It's like a touch of magic that just comes through, and then you put your soul and your heart into it. And that's what you feel when you listen to Elvellon, especially for me. Like, I have to have that emotional connection, especially to songs that have lyrics. And I have that with you guys, and it's so wonderful, and it's so nice to hear, and it's nice to hear how different everybody's process is for their creativity.
Yeah, it's really interesting, absolutely. And I don't know, it's just the way you said. I was trying to add something, but you're really on point there.
So, which song on the album? I don't know if you can say which song particular, like the song title, because obviously you've only released 2 so far, but like which one do you think was the most challenging for you to either write or to add your vocals to?
Wow.
I have to get the album, sorry. We just got the vinyls.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Thank you.
Oh, let me see. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's absolutely tough. I really don't know which one to pick, because I've held, I have this, like you said, organic feeling during the process. Yeah. It just happened. There was, of course, you have songs like, for me, it was Epiphany of Mind, for example, is the last one of the album. And there it was like, okay, I actually wrote that one last also, and it felt like, okay, now I have to pour out some more creativity. I have to drain myself, really.
I remember. It was a thing. Yeah, it was a thing.
Yes, and it was really hard to find the right words and to arrange everything the way I intended it, and I felt like, and I think that was one tough one for me. But the other ones were like, hey, let's do it.
Yeah, there were no big complications in this songwriting process.
Not really.
No, not like on Until Dawn. No.
Well, we have to say, it takes us a lot of time to write music. Obviously, it's been 6 years now.
Yeah.
But we really allow ourselves to have that time. We don't like to put so much pressure because of time on writing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it just becomes unnatural if you force it. And I think if you allow yourself to be creative and to have the time to be creative, it takes out a lot of complications from the start. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It makes sense, especially with how we're using the term organic and how everything just it was so natural. And apart from like the one song where you're maybe like we're close to the end, it's getting a little bit emotionally draining right now, and I just need to give that one little push, and then we'll be done. So I totally understand that. I wanted to know, obviously, because you guys are putting out this new album, but you have been touring in the past. What are your goals for this year, like personally, but also as a musician with the band?
do you want to start, or do you want to have a minute to think about that?
I would like to have a minute.
Well, I think I'm that kind of person. I take things as they come, and of course, it's nice to have a plan. Like, yeah, but I don't like to say I have this goal and that goal, and I want to achieve this during 2024. And I think that is such an important thing to do. Well, for me. Because if I force myself, things become unnatural, and then I just get exhausted, and everything's downhill from there. And so I just would love to see what this year has in store for us. Actually, I would love to tour, obviously, definitely. I love to be on stage, and the moment you get, I don't know, that kind of routine, everything is so easy to do, and I love to be in contact with our fans and meeting new people, and just exchange energy during concerts and whatnot. So I would definitely love to tour.
Well, for me personally, I would like to work a bit less. Work with me the last year, not regarding Elvellon, in general.
Yeah.
Because already we finished the album already half a year ago, and since then I'm working on another album with another project again, as a producer and partly songwriter, and this with Elvellon release, my normal daily job, and doing another album.
It's crazy.
It was getting crazy this year. And partly last year.
Work-life balance
is gone. Yeah, so that would be a help. Like in I don't know, a few months, it's getting a bit quieter, and then I can focus on myself again. That would be very nice. And with Elvellon, I don't know. I really love songwriting and doing this. I would like to start again. I really were thinking about doing new songs at the moment.
Yeah.
I know it's not the time. We don't have the time for that at the moment, but I'm looking forward to that because there were some demos that didn't made it to a song on the album, and I would really love to work on those ones. So yeah,
same.
Maybe not 6 years again.
Yeah.
Not a 6-year pause. Would be nice.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna keep you guys much longer. I totally appreciate you guys being here and for chatting with me. And I just wanted to know if you guys had any last words for people watching this, of just thanks or anything like that.
Well, I would like to thank everybody who takes the time to listen to our singles and the whole album. I would like to thank everybody who took the time to make it through this interview and for their interest. And yeah, I just hope that we can meet many new people, and just thank you for enabling us to do this.
A big thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Of course, everybody, I will leave the links and the pre-order link for the album Ascending in Synergy, which is out May 17th via Napalm Records, in the description, along with all the links for Elvellon, so you can find them and subscribe, support, leave comments. It really, really does help. Thank you so much, guys. I totally appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.